from a water-damaged basement in Prince George's County, Maryland. Welcome to another edition of Sunday Songs. Thanks, you guys, for being here. Never had enough to be the favorite son, and so I never had enough to disappoint no one. Everything I ever done, it never came too much. Maybe then I could have said that I was just washed up. Oh, my brother was a soldier, he was straight and true. Mama said he was a member of the chosen few. But I guess he never felt he ever got his due. He wrote a note and put her over in his necklace, June. Let them burn and shine, let them burn and shine. Let that last long dance just be yours and mine. Let them spin their wheels, turn their pages, break their knives on the rock of ages. We'll be fine. Let them burn, burn and shine. Well, no one ever whistled when you walked by, because you never caught the corner of the public eye. When you left town, you got one goodbye from the sign at the Frederick County line. Oh, your sister was a looker, she was tall and wild. She had a star-crossed lover on a moonlit mile. Then she met a politician and she had his child. It takes the bottom of a bottle just to make her smile. Let them burn and shine, let them burn and shine. Let that last long dance just be yours and mine. Let them spin their wheels, turn their pages, break their knives on the rock of ages. Baby, we'll be fine. Let them burn, burn and shine. Let them burn and shine. Let them burn and shine. Let that last long dance just be yours and mine. Let them spin their wheels, turn their pages, break their knives on the rock of ages. Baby, we'll be fine. Let them burn, burn and shine. Thank you. Thank you guys very much. If this is your first time watching one of these episodes, you should know that generally this is a live streaming show that's broadcast all over the world, in the United States and abroad. But for some reason, 95% of our viewership comes from St. Augustine, Florida. No one knows why. But if you're part of that 95%, I'd like to say hello. And if you're watching for anywhere else in the world or the continental United States, I just want you to know that you are well within the 5%. Toss down in the chat where you guys are watching from tonight. I always love to see. There's a road I have known I could always find. If I walked ahead, I could look behind. If I fell behind, I could always know. If it's not around this corner, it's around the next. If it's not beyond this river, it's beyond the rest. And if still it can't be found, it's probably for the best. is a hand I have known I could always hold through the night so long, through the day so fair. If I lost my grip, I would not despair. If it's not around this corner, it's around the next. If it's not beyond this river, it's beyond the rest. And if still it can't be found, it's probably for the best. So I'll keep walking on and up then. You can hear the echoes of my steps. If it's not around this corner, it's around the next. If it's not beyond this river, it's beyond the rest. If still it can't be found, it's probably for the best. If still it can't be found, it's probably for the best. There's a road I have known I could always find. It's called If Still It Can't Be Found, off a record called Windfall. Let's see where you guys are at tonight. This is always my favorite part of the show. Let's see. Kenneth, Prey is in Baltimore, Maryland. Monument City Brewing. See, they make really good beer at Monument City Brewing up in Baltimore. And in fact, right before the pandemic hit, I was supposed to play their anniversary show. They'd made it, I think, 5 or 10 years in business. We were all scheduled to play their anniversary show, and then COVID hit. Luckily for them, the main thing that people need during the COVID pandemic is booze. So I'm sure, I haven't talked to them up at Monument City, but I'm sure you guys are doing all right to a certain degree. Good to see you, Kenneth, there in Baltimore, Maryland. Claire's in Houston. Matt's in New Jersey. Duck, North Carolina, the most North Carolina sounding town name I've ever heard. And I lived in North Carolina for 3 or 4 years, so I'm somewhat of an authority. Ryan Carr's in Montgomery, Maryland, Montgomery County, Maryland. This is so much fun to see. Bakersfield, California, just very far west of St. Augustine. Rob Price is a 5%er. Mama Mary's back. I know you from last week. Good to see you, Mama Mary. Jean's in Wisconsin. Everyone's all over the place. This is great. Matt very cryptically writes, Syracuse, New York, this show, half a joint and a few IPAs is my church. You're pretty lit, Matt. I'm glad to have you here for this makeshift liturgy for you. All right, let's play a few more songs, and we'll come back later and see where everybody else is still at. This is so great. I just love seeing where everybody's coming in from. Let's do, this is one I don't get to play a ton. And it's off an EP of mine called In the Meantime, which was kind of I wouldn't exactly say it was a throwaway EP, but a lot of people don't know it. I've been saving every nickel and half of every dime. I'm washing all the blankets. God knows that I'm trying. I fixed the gate. We will find each other, so they say. In the meantime, I'm lonesome while I wait. Now I'm lying to my family of who I'm thinking about. I had another woman. Somehow she found out, she always knew. We'll be honest with each other, me and you. In the meantime, I'll break a heart or two. Now I'm selling saws and hammers for half of what they're worth. I'm dreaming for a living. I got no time for work. It's getting hard. One day we will never be apart. In the meantime, I'm wondering where you are. Now I'm burning sheets of plywood. I pried up off the floor. The house is out of lumber. At least for now I'm warm. For now I'm warm. We'll be warm beneath a Carolina moon. In the meantime, I should find another room. Now I'm drinking from the faucet. I'm lucky when I sleep. I'm sleeping in the closet. I'm scared of the police. What should I do? One day you will be my reason too. In the meantime, I'll just be passing through. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's stay there on that same EP there. This is one from that same record. Who's that by your front door? By first light and last? Who's that man, heart in hand, sleeping in your grass? In a coat of young frustration, with unfed appetite. Lock the door, Christina, I'm standing on your porch tonight. Who's that by your front door? We all thought he died. Who's that man knee deep in sand, waiting on the tide? With an atlas and a ladder, undaunted by the height. Like the door, Christina, I'm standing on your porch tonight. Who else ever cared? Who else ever tried? Who's that man come to stand right by your crying side? With convictions I can't pay for and habits I can't fight. Like the door, Christina, I'm standing on your porch tonight. Are destined to misuse you, are determined to do you right. Like the door, Christina, like the door, Christina. Better lock your door, Christina, I'm standing on your porch tonight. Thanks there. I barely got through that one. I normally do that, not finger picked. See where everybody else is at here. Okay, Melissa Ray is in Quincy, Massachusetts. Did you also smoke a joint and drink 3 IPAs? Very specifically. Mark, you must have seen me, you must be watching out of Columbus. You saw a show in 2013 at the Rumba. I believe it. Dave's in Murfreesboro, not too far from Bonnaroo, which will probably never happen again. COVID. Rex is down East Maine. That's like in Maryland how everybody says down the ocean, right? Nice. Oh, it's so great to see everybody. See, this is what I love. We're getting international here. Oscar's in Mexico City. I heard there's parts of Mexico City that are indistinguishable from like Brooklyn these days because there's so many hipsters down there. So let me know if that's the case, Oscar, because I need to know if I can get a single origin coffee wherever I go. All right, so let's play a few more before we head to our covers. We got a couple covers by wonderful artists tonight. I'm going to play. Of course, we got a song from the Bone Pile coming up for you. I'll explain that segment in just a moment if you haven't been here before. And of course, we have a Soft Boy Poem Corner coming up. How could we not have a Soft Boy Poem Corner coming up? Let's do this one. Like a morning star, like a firstborn son, oh, my blistered heart has been lifted up, and through narrow eyes I have seen so long. Now my road is wide, in my grievance gone, in my own, my own, my own, my own, my own long midnight is done. Like a steady job, like a heavy rain, I'll be close at hand when they call my name. I couldn't say as much even yesterday, but I have seen the flood and my heart is changed. In my own long midnight is done. In my own long midnight is done. Thank you. Oh, speak plainly, Diana, there's nothing to understand. Yes, there's mysteries in the basement, but there's comic books upstairs. And there's a wrecking ball in the front yard, but there's blueprints on the couch. Speak plainly to me, Diana, we'll build ourselves a house, and I don't mind riding around. I don't mind riding around. There's no safety, Diana, and there's nobody to blame. Even daylight will surprise you, even dreams will end the same. So when there's too much to remember, and you remember me, speak plainly to me, Diana, we'll swim into the sea. I said I don't mind riding around. I don't mind riding around. I don't mind riding around. No, I don't mind riding around. 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 Come lately, Diana, quit what's got you down. Steal from the tallest cabinet and make your favorite sound. And when there's too much to get rid of and you get rid of me, oh, speak plainly to me, Diana, there's nothing you must be. I said I don't mind riding around. 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 I don't mind. Thank you. Thank you guys very much. Let's see, what should we do here? We should play a cover or two. That's what we normally do here. I'm going to play you a couple covers by a guy. I can call him a friend, actually. I've known him for over 10 years now. I'm going to play you a couple songs by the wonderful Carll from Houston, Texas. I think he now lives in Nashville. He's always touring all over the place. My wife introduced me to Carll. He had an album 10 years ago called Trouble in Mind that I loved, and I've been listening ever since. So here's one off that, and then I'll do one off an album of his called K-Mag Yo-Yo. Saw you leaning against a memory, with your back turned against the crowd, in that little bar on Murphy, where they played guitar too loud. There were people drinking whiskey, there were hearts about to leave. It was cold as hell in Houston, it was almost New Year's Eve. All the way from Beaumont, with a white rose in my hand, I couldn't wait forever, baby, I hope you understand. Well, the night was feeling lucky, so I asked you to dance. And the way you looked up at me, well, I thought I had a chance. But when I put my arms around you, I know you weren't giving in. And I hope it will be different when I pass this way again. All the way from Beaumont, with a white rose in my hand, I couldn't wait forever, baby, I hope you understand. Well, I walked the road to get here, with a guitar in a case. Would have stopped in Pasadena if I'd have known about this place. But you look like forever, baby, where the water meets the shore. I've been thinking about you, darling, I can't do that anymore. I saw you leaning on a memory, with your back against the crowd, in that little bar on Murphy, where they play guitar too loud. There were people drinking whiskey, there were hearts about to leave. It was cold as hell in Houston, it was almost New Year's Eve. All the way from Beaumont, with a white rose in my hand, I couldn't wait forever, baby, I hope you understand. All the way from Beaumont, with a white rose in my hand, I couldn't wait forever, baby, I hope you understand. That's a damn good song, man. What are you supposed to do if you write a song like that? Damn. That's Hayes Carll. I'll play one more of Hayes's here. I would have to guess that many of you know who Hayes Carll is. The vast majority, but if for some reason you don't know who he is, you should listen. Start with an album of his called Trouble in Mind, and then go to one called K-Mag Yo-Yo, and then go to his latest one. But they're all good. Here's a song that he wrote. I think a lot of people have covered this. Maybe Trisha Yearwood. No, I think Leanne Womack covered this song. This is a hell of a song too. This is a perfect country song. Chances are I took the wrong turn every time there was a turn to take. And I guess I broke my own heart every chance I had a heart to break. And it seems I've spent my whole life wishing on the same unlucky star. But as I see you across the barroom, I wonder what my chances are. Well, I know you've been around and you've seen what you needed to see. And at night when you're dreaming, you're probably not dreaming of me. Well, it's safe to say I've stumbled, but I've managed to make it through this far. As I take one step and another, I wonder what my chances are. Yeah, well, I have watched the world go by hand in hand and wondered why I'm still alone. Could I lay down my foolish pride, maybe finally find my heart at home? Well, the band has started playing a simple song that I used to know. Yeah, I'll take your hand, walk you out, and dance to the rhythm way down low. Every heart has a story, mine just has a few more scars. But they could heal if you would hold me and tell me what my chances are. Yeah, they could heal if you would hold me and tell me what my chances are. He's Carl in the key of F major, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, this is the point in the show. Well, let's see what you guys are up to first of all here in the chat. Boom. Was Country Strong a good movie? No comment. Yes, yeah. So that song was in Country Strong. I think he wrote a couple of the songs for that movie, and I think that was definitely in it. So there you go. I won't comment on whether it was a good movie. Okay, well, I'm going to play you guys. This is a point in the show. If you haven't been here for one of these Sunday songs before, we invented this segment here. The listeners, the viewers rather, invented this segment here called the Bone Pile, where I just play a song for you guys that I deemed unworthy to make it onto an album, that just made it to like the demo stage. And so I call it the Bone Pile because it lays there for me to use for another album or whatever I want to do. So here we go. We're going to play you a Bone Pile song. This was going to be a song that was going to be on the last album, The Flood in Color. And it kind of sounds like, it a little bit sounds like Long Midnight, so we didn't use it. It was just a less good version of Long Midnight, I think. But it's kind of cool. This is a Bone Pile song. This is a song called Desdemona. Hope you enjoy.
Do I know that face? Or is it just the light? Did I hold your hand in another life? I worn many coats just to brave the wild. I've been 1,000 men, been a single child. Look out, Desdemona, your father saw you smile. Yes, I know that laugh as the credits fade, and from the way I bleed, believe I know that blade. I hope my dying words, they keep you awake like a golden rule you just can't obey. Look out, Desdemona, you're not too young to pay. I know your secret, thought I could keep it, but I know that I can. Do you see that moon? Do you see those stars? They have never changed. I have strayed so far. The light just lays itself on your long white neck like it softly did on the night we met. Look out, Desdemona, this is all we get. Look out, Desdemona, this is all we get.
So there you go. I think a pretty good idea for something, but still maybe a little bit half-baked because it's in demo form. But that's why it's a Bone Pile song. We're going to get ready to do a Soft Boy Poem Corner here. Before we do, I want to say, throw down in the chat any questions you have. We'll do a Q&A after this. Throw down in the chat any requests you have for songs, because we'll finish up with a few requests. That being said, let's go to America's favorite time to cry. Okay, this week we have a poem by one of my new favorites. This is a poem by a poet named Elizabeth Bishop. I love her. The poem is called The Weed. I dreamed that gone and meditating, I lay upon a grave or bed, at least some cold and close-built bower. In the cold heart, its final thoughts stood frozen, drawn immense and clear, stiff and idle as I was there. And we remained unchanged together for a year, a minute, an hour. Suddenly there was motion, as startling there to every sense as an explosion. Then it dropped to insistent, cautious creeping in the region of the heart, prodding me from desperate sleep. I raised my head. A slight young weed had pushed up through the heart, and its green head was nodding on the breast. All this was in the dark. It grew an inch like a blade of grass. Next, one leaf shot out of its side, a twisting, waving flag, and then two leaves moved like a semaphore. The stem grew thick. The nervous roots reached to each side. The graceful head changed its positions mysteriously, since there was neither sun nor moon to catch its young attention. The rooted heart began to change, not beat, and then it split apart, and from it broke a flood of water. Two great rivers glanced off from the sides, one to the right, one to the left, two rushing, half-clear streams. The ribs made of them two cascades, which assuredly, smooth as glass, went off through the fine black grains of earth. The weed was almost swept away. It struggled with its leaves, lifting them fringed with heavy drops. A few drops fell upon my face and in my eyes so I could see, or in that pale black or in that black place thought I saw. That each drop continued a light, a small illuminated scene. The weed-deflected stream was made itself of racing images, as if a river should carry all the scenes that it had once reflected shut in its waters and not flowing on momentary surfaces. The weed stood in the severed heart. "What are you doing there?" I asked. It lifted its head all dripping wet with my own thoughts, and answered then, "I grow," it said, "but to divide your heart again." What the hell are you supposed to do about that, man? I know that's why you guys come here for. This is the only place where you can get true, shoddily read existential poetry on the internet in real time. So I've really cornered the market on that. Okay, let's see what you guys are asking, and so Kevin over on YouTube wants to hear Blues Came Down. Yeah, I'll play that for you in a second. Let me just answer a few questions and then I'll play that for you. I love playing that song. Kate said, "This poem might inspire Matt to smoke the other half of his joint." Matt, with his, we're really busting your balls, Matt, with your beer and your weed, bro. My bad. Here's a question. I'm always answering your questions, Mama Mary. You were here last week. Do you go through periods of aha moments where writing a song just flows so easily, musically or lyrically? Yeah, I do, and I don't know where they come from. I would say most writers probably feel like that. I'd say anybody in their job, if it requires even a modicum of creativity, feels that way. You know, whatever your job might be, I'm sure you feel that way. Sometimes it comes to you. Sometimes you're in a flow state. And sometimes it's just every step is a step uphill and against the grain to even get the most simple thing done. So my thought is you just have to continue to work no matter whether it's hard or whether it's easy. You just have to continue to push through where possible. And hopefully it is easy. Damn, Matt clowning me. How much product do I put in my hair? It appears an exorbitant amount. Damn. Getting clowned in the YouTube comments, man. Brutal. Zachariah in the Invisibles asks, when is the piano coming to the show? The piano will come to the show as soon as I can afford another very expensive camera. This camera I'm using for this show, I had to invest some money in to get it to look good. And so I need a camera for this piano back here. But as soon as I deem it prudent to buy another camera, we'll get the piano back here going. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, I'm gonna play Blues Came Down for someone who requested it. Keep on with those questions and with those requests. I'll do a few more after this. Oh. I woke up after breakfast. I left her bedroom late. The streets were filled with strangers, half expecting a parade. I never saw it coming as the first applause began. Then the blues came down on the heels of a marching band. Silver on my fingers, sugar on my tongue. My father stood behind me and he asked what I'd become. I said I speak a language that you'll never understand. Then the blues came down on the heels of a marching band. Blues came down, blues came down. say that truth and justice must be their own reward. I grew rich pretending while the honest all went poor. Don't you play dumb about it when you're on that witness stand. Why the blues came down on the heels of a marching band. Yeah, the blues came down on the heels of a marching band. Thank you. I think that one was for Kevin, maybe. Rafe says, what camera would be ideal so we can harass the company to send you one? You know, I appreciate the thought, Rafe, but if there's one thing that I don't like in life, I really don't like it when people use social media to berate corporations. I think one of the least attractive things that a human being can do is to one of the least attractive things a human being can do is very publicly send a tweet or a Facebook thing publicly to a company that should have just been like a private thing. Like when someone's having a bad flight day and they're just like, Delta, are you going to make this right? At United, what's the deal? My flight's 45 minutes late. I find it very distasteful. So I appreciate the thought, Rafe, of getting me another camera, but that would be the last way that I would prefer to go about it. Thank you, though. Let's see. Rob says, who's your number one fan? And why is it Rob Price? Look at you, young man, over there on Facebook. Rob, I appreciate you, young man. I do. I really appreciate you. Let's see. Oh, here's a good thing. Here's a good thing. So this is good. So Jessica over on YouTube is very politely requesting how good you are, and this is a great opportunity. Oh man, this is a great opportunity for me to work this in. I'll play this, Jessica, but unfortunately I can't dedicate it to you. I got an email message earlier today from this is for Briston and Danielle Brocker, who are celebrating their 7th anniversary tonight, watching this show. God knows why. Probably, Danielle, because your husband's a cheap bastard and he wants to watch a free YouTube stream for your 7th anniversary. But he requested I play this song for the two of you. So this is for your 7th anniversary, Briston and Danielle Brocker. And also requested by Jessica. I was born into a circus, but I ran off to join a home. Oh, they said that I was worthless, that my family died unknown. So it gets in circles, that's what you get, I suppose, for wanting something more than a life of rock and roll. All the Christians left behind at the crossroads of your town, are they're playing truth or dare neath the sanctuary now. Some wish they had the truth, some wish they had to go, but there ain't no sense in leaving from the only game you know. Oh, I know how good you are, how hard it is, how good you are. There's a butler in your hallway. He is troublesome and old. He repeats the word alive to describe your family gold. He asks him please to go, but there's one thing you don't know. He carved April 7th, 65 into the side of your piano. Good you are, how hard it is, how good you are. Everything that you were meant for, everything that you were born to do, does not need you to do it. Someone else was born to do it too. You're like a half-grown man, you barely learned how to stand. If you shut up with what you've chosen, you'll hear something choosing you. Oh, I know how good you are, how hard it is, how good you are. Happy anniversary, Kristen and Danielle. Okay, let's see. Guitar question from Eric. Oh, whoops. You're welcome, Jessica. I didn't mean to click on your thank you there, but you're welcome. Guitar question. How did you learn Travis picking? I think it's called Don't Eat Me Internet. I know. The internet comments are brutal, Eric. I wouldn't. I'd be scared too, brother. Thanks. I make it look well. Thanks. Eric is talking about a type of guitar picking where you're using your thumb like this to do a bass line, but then also do a melody line as well. So for that Hayes Carll song, it would sound like this. Yeah, I don't know. I learned it from the internet, man. To be completely honest, there's a lot of songs, a lot of finger picking that I loved. I loved all the finger picking on the early Dylan records, all the finger picking on the early Prine records. Justin Townes Earle is a very good finger picking guitar player. So is Steve Earle. I would watch some YouTube videos of them. I didn't necessarily learn from them, but after touring with them a lot, that they would be like. They do the most with that, I think, on the road as far as songwriters go. So I would check out some of their stuff. They're both great Travis picking guitar players. Dom asks, do you think it would be more difficult to pick up a guitar as a beginner the older you get? Probably. I mean, most things are probably harder to learn as you get older. That's the depressing part of life. But, I mean, that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to do it, man, because it'll be all the greater of an accomplishment. But yeah, I mean, it'd probably be a lot easier if you started at 7, the same way that it would be if you needed to learn, Mandarin Chinese. But, you got to start with the age that you're at. Have I ever met Neil Young? I have not ever met Neil Young. Oh, look, Lisa is here in the comments for you for the Travis picking thing. Tommy Emmanuel is a guitar player. Yeah, you can find some of this stuff on YouTube. He is really good for the Travis picking. That is a good thing. Let's see. Let's do another song. I'm just getting a lot of questions. I have no. Oh, everyone's wishing them a happy anniversary. That's great. Dude, I already played that, brother. Just go back to earlier in the show. Peter, my good friend Peter Church, who's probably seen me play in more venues than any other person has ever seen me play. Yeah, man, you got it, brother. Well, I wish that I could come to you disguised as someone else. Well, I wish that I could come to you disguised as someone else. Help you lift your luggage from the platform to the train. Ask you for directions that I don't need explained. You would never think to ask my name. Let's not put it lightly, I put us both through hell. So I wish that I could come to you disguised as someone else. And I wish that I could work for you with someone else's hands. Well, I wish that I could work for you with someone else's hands. Be behind the counter of a bookstore that you're in. Charge you $7 for a crossword and a pen. You would leave and not look back again. Even hardened criminals, they get a second chance. Well, I wish that I could work for you with someone else's hands. Well, I wish that I could come to you, could run to you, could sing to you, a stranger in your neighborhood who doesn't mean a thing to you, singing now a long forgotten song. On and on and I don't have the stomach to face you as myself. So I wish that I could come to you disguised as someone else. Well, I wish that I could come to you disguised as someone else. That's from my friend Peter Church, disguised as someone else. I'm going to play one more song, and then we'll call it a night. I'm so happy you guys are here again tonight. I'm always worried no one's going to show up, but that's the way it goes when you're an artist. I always worry about that when I come to a town to play. I'm always worried that no one's going to show up, and you guys always do, and I really appreciate it. It's meant a lot for me to be able to continue to perform during the pandemic. So thank you for being here. As always, if you can contribute to the virtual tip jar here, it's appreciated, but not necessary. If you can't kick in here, I just ask that you spread the word about the show. Let people know that this is going on, same bat time, same bat place, every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Let me jump into the chat to get one more song here to play. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Oh, come on now. Lot of doors always open. I feel like I've played that a lot on this stream, but if there's 4 people requesting it, then I'll do it, man. I'll leave you with this one. And I'll see you guys next week. I sure do hope. After all the windows on the ground floor had been broken, after all the undemanding officers had spoken, after all the trouble, after all of the commotion, I walked right through the door. It was always open. When I was 17, I set out on the ocean, searching for Columbus or wherever he was going. And then 20,000 miles came down in just a moment. I sailed right through the door. It was always open. I climbed the western wall without anybody knowing. I held the guardsman captive with a pistol I had stolen. He just poured a cup of coffee and said, "Son, now here's a notion. The next time you drop by the door, it's always open." I waited for the sun, but it was already dawn. It was already dawn, breaking fast all along. And I waited for her song, but she was already gone. She was already gone, breaking fast all along. So it seems I've spent a lifetime arrested and beholden, standing on the threshold, absolutely frozen, asking for some God above to tell me I was chosen. Instead I spoke myself, the door was always open. Instead I spoke myself, the door was always open. Peace, love, and understanding. Until next week, you guys. I'll see you soon. Peace.